All right, everybody, we're live, and let me talk to you. Here comes the commish, talking to you guys about your week 3 matchup previews that everybody's hyped for, everybody's excited. We even got Joe to do a trade right before this video happened. Unfortunately for Joe, it was a season crushing trade in which he sent me future RB1 overall, Miles Sanders. Everybody knows that the Panthers starting running back is a stud. You all thought McCaffrey was good. He's not. He was just a system QB in Carolina, or system running back in Carolina. Now Miles Sanders right in that same system. He's going to dominate. Love the trade for me. Now, let's take a look at the first matchup, which is me against Trey. Holy crap, this is a mismatch. This is really bad. I think I have the advantage across the board. If you just look at the players across the board, my players are better. Yahoo thinks that as well. They have me projected as a 66% favorite. I guess that means they have a 34% chance that all of my players just sit out and strike. I don't see it. Trey's going to lose. This is going to be a beatdown. Now, we'll go bold prediction here. And I got to talk about my new guy, Miles Sanders, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns this week. You know, Joe tried to trade him to a few of you other guys, and you guys are total tards. That's all there is to it. Miles Sanders is a baller. He's going to dominate. And there's my bold prediction for this game. There's really not much to say about Trey's team, and I don't want to get into it too much because I just ate and I don't want to lose my lunch. So I'm just, I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm not going to say anything at all. And we're going to move on to Steve versus Tony Jr. And Tony has suffered 2 massive injuries at running back, and he's still projected to beat Steve. That's how bad Steve's team is. The worst 2-0 team in the history of our league. Now, I look across and I see 3 question marks in Steve's lineup. He's already got Waddle on the bench. He already has to bench his 5th round QB, Justin Fields, who he just refused to trade for anything. Man, complete and total mismanagement. Terrible job by Steve. I'm looking at his lineup this week. Eckler's definitely not going to play, so not even going to bring him up. Pollard should have a great game at Arizona. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Buyer beware. If Steve's trying to trade you Amon-Ra St. Brown, he has a turf toe injury that's going to last at least a month. Now, he may or may not play through it. If he plays through it, he's just going to suck. He's not going to be the same Amon-Ra. He's going to have no burst, no explosion. He's not going to be good. If he doesn't play through it, he's just going to be on the bench, obviously. So either way, not a good situation. Jared Goff. It's only week 3, and we got somebody rolling out Jared Goff. What? That's got to be a world record. That's incredible. Love Mike Williams this week at Minnesota because my quarterback, Justin Herbert, is throwing him the ball. Justin Herbert, obviously, much better than Jared Goff or Justin Fields. So he ought to be able to get Mike Williams the ball. Jordan Addison, smash spot against the Chargers. Sam Laporta is absolutely not playable in this matchup, doing the double stack with Amon-Ra, Goff, and Laporta against a very underrated Falcons defense has a chance to be extremely heartbreaking for Steve. On Tony's side of things, Allen and Diggs in a smash spot against Washington. Zay Flowers, smash spot against Indy. Puka Nacua is going to keep it rolling Monday night against the Bengals. I expect another heavy involvement game for Puka. And he's going to get into the end zone this week for the first time. Breece Hall. Man, I don't know how you feel comfortable playing Breece Hall until they kind of unleash him a little bit. Joe Mixon. Man. Joe Mixon looks completely washed, guys. I got to be honest with you. He does not look good. And I thought that was a fantastic trade for Jason, getting out of this garbage tire fire of a running back in exchange for Calvin Ridley, who's potentially a top 5 wide receiver. Great move by Jason, born out of desperation from Tony. Probably should have shopped a little more if you were going to trade Calvin Ridley. Jake Ferguson, I don't even know who that is. So maybe he'll do something against the Cardinals. Most tight ends do. And of course, Baltimore's D might be facing the Fighting Minshews. So should be a pretty good spot there. And Lockett, of course, is always Lockett. So bold prediction, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs combined for 2 touchdowns together. They're going to hook up in the end zone twice en route to Tony getting the dub over Steve. Now we got Joe versus Jason. Hurts so good versus main event Jay. And I got to give Jason some props here. Jason's done a fantastic job altering this roster into a competitive team when he didn't have a first-round pick because he was too much of a jackass to show up to the draft. That's too bad. You didn't have a first-round pick, or you might have a real contender here. But the team's not looking that bad. Of course, it was an absolutely genius move to pick up Taysom Hill and start him. I don't know where you even thought of that, but genius move. Congratulations. Taysom Hill's going to have a huge week. Travis Etienne is in the smashiest of smash spots at home against a non-existent Texans run defense. So expect a huge game out of Etienne. Brian Robinson has become a matchup-proof RB1. Sorry, guys, I don't make the rules. That's just what has happened. Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley. It's a very good wide receiver group there for Jason. And I love the move of picking up Stafford just in case Burrow can't go Monday night. If Burrow can go, you pivot back to Burrow. Now, on Joe's side of things, Jalen Hurts is going to pop off this week. Why? Because of my man, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown was yelling at Hurts on the sideline in a 2-score win. Do you think this game they might want to get him the ball? I think he's going to get the ball early and often, and it's going to lead to a lot of fantasy points for Jalen Hurts. DK Metcalf, if he plays, it's kind of a tough matchup with Carolina on paper. But they just lost J.C. Horn, who's their number 1 corner. DK Metcalf, smash spot. Chris Godwin, smash spot. Devontae Adams, smash spot. Javonte Williams is probably about as good a bet as anybody for a touchdown this week. Of course, Travis Kelce is facing the Bears, so 200 yards and 3 touchdowns maybe. I don't know. The Bears can't stop Kelce. There's no way. And I'm expecting big things out of Kyren Williams to continue. He's the lead running back for the Rams. He's Monday night against Cincinnati. He's set up for another really good game. So this is a tough matchup to predict, but I'm going to go ahead and give the slight nod to Joe because I just feel like Kyren Williams Monday night is going to put him over the top. Now we got Brad versus Jared. Now this one's actually a very intriguing matchup because Brad has a few guys that are kind of getting healthier in Jerry Jeudy and Terry McLaurin. Those guys ought to be a little better moving forward, and I think they're both very good wide receivers. I like it. Christian McCaffrey is going to bend the Giants over his knee and spank them tonight on national television. That's how that's going to go. He's going to destroy the Giants. Everybody knows it. Dak to CD, great connection this week against Arizona. The only thing you worry about with Kittle is, does McCaffrey destroy the Giants so bad that they don't need to use him? Certainly possible, but Brad has McCaffrey, so you don't have to worry about that. Brad, you got to find a second running back. You can't roll out Devon Achane as an actual starter. This is an actual competitive league. You have to go get someone. Okay, there's free agents out there that are better than Devon Achane, and you're rostering total losers like Kyle Pitts and Treylon Burks. Come on, now you're not doing anything. Got to do more than that. So I'm looking at Jared's team. I love Lamar Jackson this week. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is a smash every week, but he's facing Patrick Surtain, so maybe he's slowed down just a little bit, and he only gets 100 yards and a touchdown. Drake London, great spot at Detroit. That doesn't mean that they're going to throw the football, though. I don't know. We'll see. Mike Evans, again, love this matchup with the Eagles. Their secondary's been horrendous, and the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. So the Bucs chasing points, Evans is a good play. He should get Aaron Jones back, but super tough matchup with New Orleans. Dameon Pierce is basically droppable. I mean, I'm happy I was able to move him. You know, I only got superstar wide receiver 1 overall a couple years ago, Deebo Samuel. TJ Hawkinson. The Hawk is currently the tight end 1. And I got to say, he has the least question marks of any of the elite tight ends. So love Hawkinson. Think he's going to have a big game against the Chargers. Rachaad White against Philly. He's not, you can't bench him, but don't expect much in the way of points. It's a tough matchup, and he's not very good. So who's going to win this one? I'm going to have to lean Brad. I'm sorry, Jared, but I'm going to give Brad the win. And my bold prediction is that McCaffrey goes over 200 total yards tonight and gets in the end zone twice. At which point I will be ripping my hair out, yelling at the screen to give the ball to Deebo Samuel for the love of Christ. But they're not going to. They're just going to keep giving it to McCaffrey. Now, we got Reese versus Senior. This is, this one, I'm not going to say it could go either way because it can't. Pat Mahomes against the Bears is the easiest matchup in the history of football. It is the biggest mismatch we have ever seen. I'm going to go ahead and get my bold prediction out of the way. Pat Mahomes, QB1 overall this week. I'm saying he gets into the end zone 5 or more times. You heard me right, 5 or more. The Bears defense cannot stop Mahomes. He's going to destroy them. Speaking of defenses that can't stop somebody, the Chargers are going to get roasted by Justin Jefferson to the tune of over 150 yards for the 3rd straight week for Jettis. Didn't see this coming, but Michael Pittman Jr. is an every week must play. The guy's getting double-digit targets, and Anthony Richardson doesn't look that bad. On top of that, his backup is Gardner Minshew, he can definitely get the ball to Michael Pittman. That's, Pittman Senior took him late, caught a lot of flack for it. It wound up being a great pick. Christian Kirk, I don't know. If Watson's playing, you're probably not playing Kirk. Ramondre Stevenson in a brutal matchup with the Jets, but he gets enough passing work that he'll probably still be okay. Similar to last week, if he gets in the end zone, solid week. If he doesn't, not going to be happy. Gus Edwards is in a smash spot against Indy. The only question is he going to be the lead back? Is anybody the lead back for the Ravens? I don't know. Mark Andrews, again, smash spot, bad Colts defense. Don't like Khalil Herbert. I don't think he's playable. In a couple weeks, Senior will get Cam Akers. He's not going to come in and start right away. But Cam Akers is going to, mark my words, he is going to get the lead running back job in Minnesota. He is better than Madison. It's not even close. Kevin O'Connell, their head coach who just traded for him, was the OC with the Rams and had Cam Akers. He knows Cam Akers well. He knows what he's capable of. He targeted him because Akers is the best running back on that team. In 2 or 3 weeks, he's going to be an absolute workhorse, and he's going to be awesome. Madison's going to be completely irrelevant. Now, of course, the Chiefs D, maybe the second best defensive play of the week behind Dallas against the Bears, because the Bears, as I keep telling you guys, they just suck. On Reese's side of things, Trevor Lawrence against a very underrated Houston D that is actually very easy to run on and not that easy to throw on. Not expecting a huge game from Lawrence. Chris Olave is going to draw the Jair Alexander shadow treatment. Don't love that. Nico Collins, though. Nico Collins facing a pass funnel Jags D. He's going to smash again. And that was a hell of a pick. I got to give you props. Nico Collins is for real. Devonta Smith at Tampa is going to bust. And I'll tell you why. Because A.J. Brown is screaming at everybody on the sidelines that he's not getting the ball enough. So you're just not going to get anything out of Devonta Smith when A.J. Brown gets 40 targets this week. Not Brian. I'm sorry. That was disrespectful. Bijan Robinson at Detroit. Bijan looks like a world beater, guys. He looks like exactly what we thought he was, which is bigger, faster, stronger Christian McCaffrey. If he starts getting a similar workload to McCaffrey, Bijan is going to be unreal. I'm talking 20-plus points week in, week out. Raheem Mostert against Denver, I don't know. That's a meh situation. Dallas Goedert, downright unplayable at this stage. He's not screaming at the quarterback. They're not targeting him. If he has another game where he is sub 5, I'd be looking for a new tight end. Madison, this is probably the last week that he's actually playable. But honestly, if Pacheco's active, I would roll him out there against the Bears. So who's getting and there's no way in hell Reese is actually playing the Washington defense. He just hasn't decided which defense he wants to pick up. So who's going to get the win here? You heard me give my prediction on Mahomes, so I'm going to give the win to Senior. Mahomes is going to light up the scoreboard to a ridiculous degree this week, en route to Senior potentially being the top scoring team this week. So there you go, guys. There's your matchup preview. Best of luck to everybody but Trey. I hope, Trey, that you have a week like you did week 1, where you scored like 50 points, and I just dog walk you up and down the street for this battle. There you go. Talk to you guys later.